My name's Claudio.
I'm Justin.
And we're talking about Dark Angels today. They're dominating the scene. They are sweeping tournaments. We're going to dive into their codex, into their supplement, and we're going to talk about some of the best units we think in the game. Anything you want to add to that?
Right now, we've gotten some notice that Dark Angels have like a 60% win rate almost.
Yeah.
They're like really top tier. Second place is like Iron Hands, which is really strong. So Space Marines are back on the top, baby.
So you can say, well, I want to say that we called it, but in our ranking, we put Dark Angels just ahead of Iron Hands, and it's looking like it's coming true. And we also said Imperial, not that it's like, a lot of people knew, but we knew Imperial. The Fists were going to be the worst, and a few people questioned that. They said, look at their codex, they look at their supplement, they have some things that can make pretty strong, and no, they're getting shredded at tournaments. But let's get into the Dark Angels. They're so good. These guys are so good. So many things you can do with them. So where are we going to start? And by the way, this is not, we're not doing like Ravenwing or Deathwing alone. We're doing just the entire codex, because you had a nickname for what they are right now. I don't know if you want to say it.
I'm not really going to say it right now, but maybe just give it a little bit. I'll say it later. But it's going to be a mix between Ravenwing and Deathwing, just like put them together. A lot of the armies that you're going to see in tournaments right now don't just go pure Deathwing or pure Ravenwing.
Yeah.
It's a little mix of both, and using a lot of interesting warlord traits to make sure that OBSEC is still there for your Brick of Terminators and your Ravenwing bikes, of course.
Yeah. So let's go in. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to start at number 10. Anthony started writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9th, 10th. All right, but everybody's gonna know. It's the same. Oh no, Anthony's mistake. That's fine. So the 10th best unit in this. What do you think? You want to talk about them? Let's bring them up because you wanted to talk about them. All
right, we got one of the most important parts of Deathwing and Ravenwing itself is Librarians. We have Ezekiel here. He's a very good space wizard, or a psyker is what they call in 40K. Yeah. Plus 1 to the cast, I believe. So he's very good at getting those buffs off.
He's plus 1 to the cast when he's taking it from the Interromancy discipline.
Which you're obviously going to take.
Which you're going to take it from there. So you're going to be plus 1 to all your psychic tests. Yep.
The most important thing is all the buffs that you see for Interromancy are very powerful. One really good one, if you're have a good couple of blocks of Deathwing Terminators, give them reroll to wound.
Reroll to wound, yeah, for sure.
A lot of the spells also do not need line of sight of your opponents.
Right.
So I've seen many players use the spell that takes away OBSEC from your opponent. I think it's like 18 inches away.
Yep. Take
away OBSEC from them, have your Terminator sit on the middle objective. You're just gonna keep holding that, which is ridiculously good. Yeah. Especially in this edition of Arks of Omen, where you need to do objectives. Yeah. And one of the most important ones, Stubborn Defiance, easy points if you know how to do it right.
Yeah. He also does get plus 1 to denies if you are within 12 inches. Ezekiel specifically gets an additional plus 1. If you are within 12 inches of the cast, you can add a plus 1 to your deny. But you were making a good point. You can kind of swap it out, but a Librarian with a jump pack would be really nice as well in this situation. Like 10th, I like it around here, like 10th, because it gives you more mobility. You can even keep up with some of the bikes. And I know you like using your turn-off OBSEC, but turn-off invulns. You could pop behind a unit of another unit, take away their invulns, and then your whatever unit is just shredding them. They have no invulns. So that'd be really nice to do with a jump pack Librarian.
One other interesting spell that Dark Angels has for Interromancy, they can take away auras for a character for a turn. Yeah. So, and they don't need line of sight, so your Librarian's always going to be safe. Ezekiel is going to be just amazing at popping these off. I've seen a couple lists use them. Yep. He's not going to be the Warlord since his Warlord trait is iffy. Yeah. If he does die, he still stays around for another turn basically, and then gets removed from the table.
Exactly.
One thing that I do like with taking a generic Librarian, Dark Angels have some really good Warlord traits and relics. Couple of them you'll see later on. One of the best ones, especially if you're playing a Deathwing heavy brick, which you're contesting for the middle or no man's land objectives. Rites of War from the main Space Marines Codex. 6-inch aura of OBSEC for characters and core. So your Deathwing Terminators, even if you're planning to mix Ravenwing and Deathwing, are still going to have objectives secured. You're going to be able to easily get that Stubborn Defiance, and just knock people off objectives.
Yeah.
Which your opponent's not going to be able to remove them. I'll tell you that.
Anthony, can you, sorry, the camera's just flickering. Can you just make sure the USB, the HDMI is plugged in fully? You don't? So maybe it's just the, oh, you did? Looks like it's good. If it happens again, I'll let you know. We're
right,
good, but
great.
yeah, those are really good points. And I do like your idea with the jump hack Libby. Yeah, I think we're good with it. We made enough points. You're not going to be using this guy to do like psychic ritual and stuff like that, unless you really had to. But their secondaries, your game is so good, you don't need to take psychic ritual and use these guys for that. You can just use them as your debuffing and buffing Libby, as most people would do it. On to the next unit. One of my favorite units, but I do run, right now I'm running Ravenwing, so I know Ravenwing's not fully Ravenwing, like the big list, but this guy's really good with Ravenwing, especially the fact that he can keep up with them, still give you those Chapter Master type of rerolls, and the main thing is he can move with you. He can actually keep up with your bikes, your Land Speeders, and your Black Knights, whatever you're going to be taking, and that is Sammael. People might disagree with this, because they're going to say, if you want to take a Chapter Master, take Azrael.
Yes.
But Azrael can't keep up with Land Speeders and bikes and whatnot. So, and I don't know why we're flickering. I'm going to have to check this. Give me a second. I don't want people to watch this with like all these flickering.
So in regards to Ravenwing Deathwing, if you do take a pure Ravenwing detachment of only models with the Ravenwing keyword, you're going to have OBSEC on, I think, all the bikes. Is that correct to say?
Sorry, what did you say?
So if you take a pure Ravenwing list, all your Ravenwing models are going to have OBSEC. I got to double check if it's
correct.
for bikes.
Yeah, that is correct.
And then for Deathwing, it's going to be the same thing. If you take all Deathwing, then your Terminators and Infantry will be having OBSEC. If you mix and match both, or even have some Greenwing in there, you're not going to gain that ability, which is why Rites of War becomes a very powerful thing, especially if you have a 10-man block, but you also want that mobility and hitting firepower of everything else in the Codex.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Keeping OBSEC is huge, but at the same time, I mean, bikes with OBSEC would be nice because you can just move them around. Another thing he can do is, like we said, Chapter Master type rerolls. He's selecting one unit, give them all reroll everything. That's really good if you're bringing a lot of Black Knights. You can supercharge their plasma, reroll everything. More shots at exploding, but also more shots at going through, and then you're turning it into strength 8, so you're gonna be wounding a lot of things, even Terminators on 2s. Chapter Master reroll's always nice to have. I don't know how you wouldn't put him in the top 10 unless you don't like him there.
No, I'm fine with them.
Yeah?
Other points to point out about Sammael, he has a jet bike, one of the only jet bikes that don't belong to Custodes. So he can fly over terrain, he has 14-inch movement as a bike. He can get into those awkward angles that your opponent has, such as, something's hiding behind a building. Your Ravenwing bikes are not allowed to go through the building. Sammael can get over that problem and just fly over, tag something in combat, and maybe try to kill him.
He's 15 inches.
Oh, 15 inches, even faster.
15 inch, and Ravenwing, he gets an additional 3, so he's moving 18, which is really nice.
Yeah, for turn 1, if you're Devastator Doctrine, Ravenwing gets plus 3 inches.
He would most likely stay in Devastator Doctrine through the whole game, right? Anything else you want to say about him personally? But I think I've covered everything on this guy. He's really good. He just keeps up with everything. He can get into combat for you. I think he has a...
he's equipped with a plasma cannon. A master crafted one. So strength 8, AP minus 4, 2 damage, D3 shots. Does not overcharge because it's master crafted. He can do some pretty decent damage. Yep.
He's nice. I got him there. If anybody disagrees, let me know. Bringing us to our next unit. This is the wrong picture I think Anthony grabbed, but this is the Terminator Ancient.
Yep, this is another exclusive model for Dark Angels. It's the Deathwing Ancient.
Yeah.
The basic aura of the Ancient is if a model dies within range of him, like I believe it's 6 inches in a unit, on a 4+, that unit gets to shoot once more or gets to fight with a single attack. That's okay and all, but real reason you want to take them, there's a relic in the book only the Ancient can take.
Yeah.
-1 damage for something that he chooses.
Exactly.
So that Deathwing blob that's already on the middle objective is not going to be moving anytime soon.
Yeah.
If your opponent decides to put damage 3 or damage 2 weapons, it'll become damage 2 and damage 1 respectively.
Yeah, so you're turning them into basically Death Guard Terminators. They're becoming a little more tanky, and especially with their 4-up invulns, because we'll talk about them later. You'll be taking those Terminator blobs with your Thunder Hammer and free Storm Shield and free Thunder Hammer. It's gonna be super hard to take those off the field, and that's why you're seeing so many people running the Ancient with the Terminator squads.
Yeah, and he's also a character, so it allows for more opportunity to get Warlord traits.
Yeah.
You do start with 6 CP because of Arks of Omen, but you typically want to keep spending and spending on some of these Warlord traits that'll just buff the hell out of your army.
Yeah. Would you take a regular Ancient, or would you take like a Blade Guard Ancient, or would you take the more expensive Terminator Ancient to run with them?
Maybe keep with the theme.
Yeah.
Keep with Deathwing. Keep the whole army uniform.
Yeah.
Though I do know that if you do take the Primaris one, you do get access to a couple strats,
Yeah.
transhuman them. But your whole army's transhuman anyways if you're doing Deathwing.
Yeah. you have a free transhuman. There's not much more to say with him. He's pretty good. He gets some good buffs. Like you said, what's the name of the relic you give him there?
Go ahead, over that way. It is the Pendant of Remembrance.
Yeah, so that basically -1 damage to your Terminators as long as they're in range, which they will be. Because they're moving really slowly. Yeah. Next guy. This is your boy.
Interrogator Chaplain. This is a very interesting chaplain we have, for sure. One of the key things that the the Dark Angels have for the Interrogator Chaplain, they can put Thunderhammers on their chaplains, which is interesting. If you have them, fly them into something, they smack with strength 8, AP minus 2, 3 damage.
Yep.
If you want to give them the litany to make it, increase the damage itself, make it damage 4. So just basically the super
+1 to wound.
the relic thing. He also has an aura that I think counts people as being half of their combat attrition.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool one.
It is really good. So you're going to be screwing with their with their morale saves, especially if they're beside Terminators, which they'll be taking units down past half anyways. So do you really need that?
Look, read this. While an enemy is within 6 inches of the model, it counts as being half strength.
Yeah.
So if you manage to force them to start taking morale, kill like 5-6 models, this guy's within range, they're going to be failing very fast.
Yeah, so they lose even more at that point, right? Yeah.
They go down straight to losing 1 or 2 models every single time they fail a morale test.
And if you kill 3, they're going down to 7 models down or 6 models down.
It's free loss of models, honestly.
It's pretty strong. A lot of what are the litanies people are taking with this? Because I think the strongest one they were taking is the +2 to the charge, what's the name of that one again?
Plus on the charge.
It's the generic Space Marine one. That's the one I see on most of these chaplains. I'm personally running a chaplain on a bike, Primaris on a bike, because I'm playing, like I said, more Ravenwing. So I want the chappie to be able to keep up with all the bikes. But in a foot slogging Terminator army, he's more than fine.
So the one you're looking for is Canticle of Hate.
Yeah, Canticle of Hate is a good one, and then there's I think it's what is that? The one that's +1 to all wounds.
Yeah,
it's this one.
Exhortation of Rage.
Yeah, the Exhortation of Rage.
The one I like honestly is Litany of Hate.
You like
keep it basic, keep it classic. You have a 6-inch aura of rerolling to hit, so you can impact just not only one squad. He impacts himself, impacts a Deathwing Terminator squad if it's around him. In melee combat, you're ruling everything. Interestingly enough, if let's not talk about that yet because
what did you want to talk
I was going to talk about Deathwing Terminators more, but I don't want to spoil it right now.
Okay, so you're happy with that guy there?
Yep. Give him a jump pack. Give him.
Yeah, he's a chappie.
Whatever else you need.
He's a chaplain, and he does his chaplain stuff, but he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good with this, the way it synergizes. When you'll see what else to take with him. This one here, I agree with you in this position. These guys are really good. This next unit we're going to talk about, you might think, why not just take more Terminators if you're going to take these guys? But we're going to talk about why you take these guys exactly. And this is the Terminator Command Squad.
Deathwing Command Squad.
Deathwing Command Squad, sorry. You want to get into those guys? Because I know you like them.
Yeah, they're your typical command squad. You can take them between 2 to 5 models. The reason you take them is they have the bodyguard keyword, bodyguard rule, the old one. Actually, is it the old one now?
What?
I'm thinking of something else though. But they do have the bodyguard keyword rules, so they can protect your characters a lot more, successfully. You want to take them in small squads simply because you have a pocket, Thunderhammer, Storm Shield there.
Yeah. There's 70 points for like 2. You can spam out a few units of them. Also, you can make one a Watcher in the Dark, or they take a Watcher in the Dark, and you're just at 3 more denies. If you have the space to take 3 more 70-point units with 2 in each, that's 3 more denies you get.
Yes.
And like you said, your body block, your character blocking, your lookouts are for other character units. But it's just cheap guys you can throw out there, and they're strong as hell. They're going to be getting wounded on 4 and higher. They don't get buffs though for rerolls and stuff, right? Because they're character, or no?
No, it's a unit.
Oh, they're a
it's
unit.
Not a character.
Okay.
So one thing I'd like to add to it.
I would put them higher, actually.
Really?
I mean, if they're.
I think
you can take small squads of them.
I think they're fine the way they are because the next models we have are pretty good. They're also since they're 70-point models.
Yeah.
70-point units for 2 of them. They're good for trading. So you need to hold the objective. Your 10-man brick has to hold that line. You can easily feed your opponent 2 models of Terminators at a time. They have a decent profile actually too. They're like 3 attacks because they're veterans. I think.
+1.
Yeah, so they're really good in terms of that. Let me check over here.
That's the next one.
Deathwing Command Squad. 2 attacks base, 3 on the champion. If you're just taking a basic 2-man squad, 3 attacks for the regular dude, 4 for the sergeant, and they have Thunderhammers. So they're just going to be able to throw them into your opponent, cause some havoc to them, deal some decent damage, and then if they die, it's only 70-point unit gone.
Exactly.
So you also have 2 more bullets in the chamber to just keep throwing out there.
And if you end up going strictly Deathwing, they are OPSEC.
Yes, that's correct.
They would gain OPSEC. You can have a few 2 guys here, 2 guys there, 2 guys there, and they're all OPSEC. They're contesting.
Yes.
They're going on objectives. They can get really annoying. But from what we're seeing, the best lists have a little bit of both worlds, and OPSEC is not the biggest thing here because they're bricks. Like when you start bringing in the Terminators, you're not taking them off objectives. Then you have other things going around causing the shenanigans. Your secondaries are so good.
Yes.
Your secondary game is so good that you can afford to put 70 points out there and just go ahead, deal with this.
In regards to OPSEC, 1 command point is more than enough to give your Terminator Deathwing bricks OPSEC to sit on the middle objective, stubborn defiance it the whole entire game. If you watch some of the very good, a lot of the tournament scene right now, it will take a whole entire 5 turns to kill maybe 20 Terminators.
Yeah.
20 Terminators, and they keep reviving with.
It's a nightmare.
The next couple of models we're going to talk about is what's going to cause the headache, especially. What's the next one?
We're going to do Iron Hands next week. It's a different story, but even the unit we know that we're talking about, the Gladiator, 24 shots, and all the rerolls, free rerolls, those were mowing down Knights, Deathwing Terminators, but how many shots had to go into those Terminators to kill them? I
think it was, one list I saw had 3 Gladiator Reapers.
You're looking like a potential 100 shots when you're talking everything in range with rapid fire, insane. And these Terminators are laughing some of these tanks off like they're nothing. But anyways, that's for next week. Next unit, I disagreed with this, and I take a huge chunk of these guys in my current list. I don't think they're this high, but you have them here, and I was having them around 8th. You had them 4th, and I'm agreeing. Let's put them halfway. Yes. But the Dark Knights, the
Black Knights,
the Black Knights, the Batmans, they're good. They're fast. There's a lot of stratagems for Ravenwing. You can get these guys across the board very quickly. First turn, I was memeing with Anthony. I'm like, I can move a unit of 10 Black Knights first turn pre-movement using a strat for pre-movement. And then they have another strat where they can move again after they move. You can move them 58 inches or something ridiculous in the first turn. And I find that mental, but not memeing. Let's talk a little bit about what these guys can do and why they're so good.
18-inch guns, they have plasma, 2 shots each because they're assault 2. Standard profile, strength 7, AP mass 3, 1 damage. If you overcharge, it's strength 8, AP mass 3, 2 damage. But if you roll a 1, the model goes goodbye. Yeah. They come with a free Corvus Hammer, which has a strength +1, AP mass 1, 2 damage. So they do have a decent melee presence. Yep. They're not Thunder Hammers, but they're enough to
pretty good. They're still
give
good.
your opponent a threat.
Yeah.
That's really about it. They are fast, so they're able to outmaneuver your opponent. 30 points per model is a little bit more on the expensive side, but they pay for it in terms of what they can do. Because they're Ravenwing, they have 5+ invuln if they move. If they advance, it becomes a 4+ invuln.
Yeah, if you advance, you become 4+.
You can get these guys into very awkward positions for your opponent, force them to have to shoot these Black Knights, and just try to get rid of them. Because the next turn, you're gonna eat a lot of plasma, or just get charged and just almost get wiped.
Yeah, and another thing is, besides having the 4+ invuln, these guys get an additional 3 to their movement under Ravenwing. So they're moving 17 inches base. That's before advancing, because you're probably going to advance them to get your 4+. You're going to lose -1 to your ballistic skill, but there's ways to counter that.
Yes.
With, especially with the land speeder strat, where you can pick a unit, and basically as long as that land speeder can see them, that unit, everybody firing at it for the turn, for the phase, gets +1 to their ballistic skill, and then these guys would shred in that situation. You can also throw a chaplain beside these guys and give them plus rerolls. You can give not just rerolls, but +1 to wound, which is going to be really good for their plasma. Even if you're overcharging, you're going to be strength 8. If you're going into something that's toughness 8, you're getting +1. You're wounding them on 3s. That's insane. And the one that's really nice, you can throw on an additional wound, damage onto their plasma gun. So you can pop up, overcharge, reroll your 1s. If need be, you can throw, if Azrael can keep up with these guys, give them their Chapter Master, reroll everything, or like what I was saying to you, Sammael, throw them their Chapter Master, reroll, they reroll 1s and 2s, and you're shredding everything with 3 damage plasma.
Yes. Yeah. Any other things I would put of note is, no, I think that's really it. They're just really fast.
Yep.
They are basically the hammer to the shield of Deathwing. If you want to play a more aggressive list, depending on the meta you have, Ravenwing Black Knights are very good for just taking out generally anything. Each bite getting 2 shots each. If you have like 5-man block, it's like 10 shots of plasma.
You can command squad them after. So you can take 10, and then if you want to, at the beginning, you can like command squad them and go 5 and 5. So, but yeah, if you want to take a lot of them, that's what I do. Or you can bring them as a 10-man brick. I don't know. I think having 5 here, 5 there is probably a little bit better idea.
Yeah. You can also, if you do get in a situation where you need to move block, I know it's a little bit more expensive, but other people have used regular bike squads, right? You can always throw these guys turn 1, get into a position where it blocks your opponents from moving their tanks, or blocks your opponent from moving into like an objective turn 1. Yeah. It's just an option there, honestly, rather than just sitting on an objective. These guys are really good poking. Yeah,
they're good. If you want to play aggressive, get up into your opponent, they're the perfect unit. You can hit and run with them as well. You can get into combat.
Yes.
Fight, leave combat, shoot. You can do a lot of things with them. I guess they're pretty good. You changed my mind on putting them up there. I got them up there. This is a guy that rolls with them. You need one of these if you want to keep your Black Knights strong. You agree that he's up here, right?
He's very good. Everyone else has an apothecary who just walks. Ravenwing get a nice one who just gets his own little motorbike. So he can keep up with people. His base size is also larger now. Yeah. Which is key, so he can affect a lot more models because of the base size.
Yeah, he gets the same base as the Black Knights, but you want to make him the upgraded apothecary.
Yes.
So you can just bring back a bike. That's 3 wounds you're bringing back a turn, or healing another unit if need be. You can heal 1 unit and then bring 1 back in another unit. It's worth the extra points, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. So when you bring up Ravenwing Knights, he can actually heal anybody.
Anybody, yeah.
Not just like bikes, he can heal Terminators.
Yep.
Keep this guy with your Deathwing Terminators on the center objective. 6 up, feel no pain now, on an already durable unit that can only be wounded on a 4+.
Bringing a Terminator back every turn.
Add that with, I'm going through the combo now, which I was talking about and creaming about that guy over there, the Ancient. Being able to get -1 damage as well, 4+ to wound.
Yeah.
You have a 4+ invuln if you need it. 1-up save. 0+ save if you're in cover. If you play like ITC terrain and you like do all that, Terminators are not going to move. And then on top of it, a 6-up feel no pain just to make sure that everyone stays alive. You can now see 120 something shots coming from like 3 Gladiator Reapers.
Yep.
For Iron Hands sitting in Devastator Doctrine might only kill like 3 or 4 or 5 models.
I'm going to switch this up. So we're going to go black for a second because I think it's this port that's flickering. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully that fixed it.
But yeah, to continue with that, give him, he's going to take Father of the Future so that he gets to bring people back to life for no CP.
Yeah, it costs 0 points, right?
Yes, you can give him a relic that can make any invuln save for a unit within 3 inches that's an enemy become a 5+.
Yeah.
So you have, your opponent's Chapter Master or opponent's 3+ invuln model come at you, bring your Apothecary there, they automatically have a 5+ invuln.
Disgusting.
With the amount of speed that he has, he can just move up once he's done his job, move up, act as a sacrificial lamb to help allow your units to just get more wounds and more damage on that really tough unit.
Yep.
So he's versatile, he's fast, he heals, he's just a really good boy.
Going back to that, that's the main reason too, you're not taking a regular Apothecary. You want that extra speed. It's a huge advantage. No other army can do it. You can just, it's legend now.
There is one.
Which one?
What's it? The Blood Angels have a Sanguinary Priest.
That's right, that's true.
That's the only other one.
Excuse me, thank you. Something in the air. Yeah, so 100% every list should have an Apothecary on a bike. Ravenwing Apothecary, healing everybody. And he has the speed, like you said, he can heal Terminators, bring them back. You can go between units when you have this kind of speed. And he's Ravenwing, you get an additional 3. You can power boost him somewhere if you really need to.
Yes.
And he can go from here to this objective and res one of your Terminators that are holding out that objective, then go back to giving the middle blob their invuln save, their feel no pain and all that. It's so good. Definitely take this.
He also has a set of plasma talents.
Yep.
So he has the assault 2 guns. In case you will need to get into combat or take something off, you have that option as well.
Yeah, you get a few shots from there.
Try not to go overdo it with the overcharging because he's going to die if he rolls a 1.
He blows up. Here's, speaking of Chapter Masters, we have the main one.
We got Mr.
Azrael.
You're not bringing him there? Okay.
It's coming.
We have Azrael. He's still a little bit small right now. We're waiting for the new box set to come out where Azrael finally becomes a lot bigger.
Yeah, he becomes, he grows up. He becomes a real boy.
I think this guy, I really think he's top tier.
He is, yeah.
He fits where he is because there are some other better choices, which you'll see soon, but he gives 2 CP if he's a Warlord automatically to you, allowing you to spend more CP elsewhere. He has a Chapter Master traits, so he basically can give your characters full rerolls to one of them during the command phase, and just having reroll once to hit is just nice overall as an aura.
I agree.
Of course, Chapter Master, he also has Watch in the Dark, I believe. So there's another deny for you, including all the denies that you have from the command squads.
Yep.
Pretty good in melee combat.
Your basic Chapter Master reroll, obviously, giving you all your rerolls for ones for units in aura range. What else has he got? He's just overall good. You don't want to really get him in close combat. He's more of like a...
he's a support character.
He's more, to support your guys. Do you take this in a Death Guard, Deathwing, pure Deathwing list though?
I honestly think I would, simply because of this one. 2 free CP, just because he's a Warlord, I think huge. I would take it. He has this Warlord trait is actually pretty good as well. I gotta double check what that is. But one thing I really do like is Lion's Helm.
The 4+ invuln,
Turn 1, if your bikes you want to be ballsy with your bikes, keep them in the front.
Yep.
They have a 4+ invuln base off the bat.
Yep.
No need for advancing, no need for moving. Turn 1, if your opponent has shots on him, that's okay. You have a 4+ invuln.
And it literally only will be turn 1 because by then the bikes are gone and there's no way he's keeping up with bikes moving close to 20 inches per turn. But like you said, you can be more ballsy, run him up, give your bikes a turn of getting forward without getting murked. But at the same time, does it really matter when you're Ravenwing? Because you can just advance, get your 4 up anyways, and get that much closer. So, you can go both ways with it. That's why I'm on the fence with taking Azrael. I'm more, go with the speed and take Sammael.
I don't want to pay.
I don't know.
For me, I'm not paying the extra points for Sammael when if I'm moving up with my Terminator brick.
Yeah.
This is enough already.
Okay.
Chapter Master on somebody, being able to have two free CP.
Yeah.
I think that's just way more than having to pay extra points for Sammael.
Yeah.
That's just what I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, bringing us. So he's up. Yeah, I mean, there's no disagreement. He's up there. He's one of the best units. Number 2. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised.
I thought they were going to be number 1. I think
I
number
had
2's
them as
perfect.
number 1, and then I had disagreements. But I'm fine with them here. Terminators.
You love them, you know them.
Deathwing Terminators.
Every single list is running at least 2 bricks of them.
It's crazy.
They sit on, you basically, the tactics I've been seeing with tournament play, especially with Cherokee Open recently, choose an objective in the middle, have your Terminators just sit there, just move them up turn 1.
10-man blob.
2 10-man blobs actually.
Yeah. Oh, in the middle?
Yeah, one in the front, one in the back, just in case something happens.
Okay.
You can easily like throw the other blob in, right? Your opponent's gonna have a hard time taking them out because with player optimized terrain, you're gonna put that terrain piece there.
Yeah.
That'll give them light cover.
Yeah.
So whatever's shooting at them is gonna have to go through a 1-up save, including also the storm shield becomes a 0-up save.
Oh my god.
Now this is where I'm getting the super awesome combo.
Yeah.
Have another character. I don't think you can make it the Apothecary because he already has a Warlord trait, but if you want to spend the CP on him, that works too.
Yeah.
Rites of War, so that those Terminator bricks are going to be having OBSEC.
Yep.
So even if you're not pure Deathwing, you're going Schizo Wing is what I call it. You're going to be having OBSEC, taking that objective, getting those Stubborn Defiance points.
Yeah.
Combo that in with your banner, having the ability to -1 damage to 1 unit.
Yeah.
And then a 6-up Feel No Pain on from the Apothecary.
And that's an aura, the OBSEC, right?
Yes, it's an aura. So you can even, if you want to be ballsy, you can stretch out your Terminators to like cover another objective, or just like keep more models on there. So if your opponent decides to throw OBSEC and deny things, you have 2 squads there as backup.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
And then you combo him up with Interrogator Chaplain.
Oh.
Rerolls, like this is where the magic comes in. Like legit, it's where the magic comes in.
Yeah.
And a Space Wizard, a Librarian, whether it's Ezekiel or a regular guy, give him the spell that allows full rerolls.
Yeah.
Who wants to charge a Terminator brick that's that buffed up on steroids with full rerolls against you?
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah.
And you still have the chapter tactic for Dark Angels.
Yep.
If you sit still and don't move, you get +1 a hit.
Yep.
So your Thunderhammers are hitting on base 3s again.
Yeah.
And
you're re-rolling everything.
there are probably other ways to buff that as well.
Yeah.
So that brick, nobody's gonna charge it. You wanna shoot it, 120 Reaper shots from the Gliding
Iron
Reapers
Hands.
are not gonna be able to kill the whole entire squad. And they're just gonna keep coming back with the Apothecary.
Yeah. Iron Hands are the best at shooting right now, and they struggle taking these guys off the middle objective. And you're talking about a ridiculous amount of shots with Tech Marines behind these tanks, making them hit on 2s, re-rolling 1s for free, like innate re-roll 1 for Iron Hands. 120 shots at these guys, and they're literally shrugging these off like they're nothing. They're, it's killing them. Like anybody that's killing these Terminators, it's Iron Hands. But how much firepower does it need? How much attention gets put onto that middle blob? And what's going on around you? You have land speeders coming. You have everything else you have to deal with. And then these guys are the biggest headache. Are they going to get nerfed?
Probably everything else except the Terminators going to get nerfed. I mean, thank you GW for giving them free Thunderhammer Storm Shields. They used to be 10 points extra.
Yeah, that has to get
But
nerfed.
now everything is so free for Space Marines. Just free stuff.
Yep.
A lot more points.
Free plasma, free Melta, free last cannons. It's great.
You can also give them Cyclo missile launchers if they're big enough squads, so you do have that little bit of anti-tank
and
punch.
I think a lot of
just in
people are
case.
doing that as well. Like Cyclone missile launch, why not take the firepower while you can?
And just to also bring up, Deathwing Knights are also really good there too as well. Rather than hitting on 3s, they're hitting on 2s base.
Yeah, but I think they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd rather spam out more Terminators than bring out your elite Terminators and spend. You're gonna spend a lot more on them.
Yeah. So
But
you got.
They are very good, obviously stat wise, but point wise not so much. That's why they're not up here. But yeah, Terminators. If anybody says they're number 1, I would not disagree with you. Like 1 or 2, we only have 1 unit that we think is ahead. The only reason we put this unit ahead is because it's literally in every single list. Ravenwing or Deathwing, you're going to see one of these or two of these. And that is, everybody I think that plays Dark Angels knows what it is.
Drum roll?
Talon Master, the land speeder of Doom. It's so good. I mean, under 9 wounds, it's gonna hide. It's gonna hide behind your troops. It's gonna hide behind your Black Knights. It's gonna hide behind your Terminators. It's gonna start shooting. It has, first of all, has great guns. The twin-linked
Twin assault cannon, and twin heavy bolter.
Twin heavy bolters. Both going to be AP -2 because you're in the heavy doctrine. They're sniping you. They're staying back there. You can't hit them. They just laugh. They're giving reroll 1s to wound because they're lieutenant unit basically. And they have a great thing where you can remove cover. So your Terminators, if you're playing a mirror match, you can just remove that cover save off the Terminators. It helps a little bit. You can choose those Terminators and be like, yeah, you have no cover save. So your 0 up becomes a 1 up.
Yeah, it'll help, a little bit help.
But that's the only way to counter that, really. But anything you want to say about them? And they're super fast, obviously.
Give them a Warlord trait that allows them to hit on 2s no matter what.
Yeah, that's, what's the name of it? And I should know the name because I take it on every, why is that slipping my mind?
While you're at it, Icar says, why not Deathwing Knights?
I did mention them
Too expensive.
I mentioned them up there with the Deathwing Terminators.
Icar, they're too expensive, and you can just spam out Terminators, regular Terminators.
If you want to do the objective long game, maybe something cheaper, which the Deathwing Terminators can do. They can also take missile launchers, including the Thunderhammer Storm Shield, I think, right? Or can you not do that?
Thunderhammer Storm Shield?
Can you take Thunderhammers with Cyclones?
I don't think so, no. I think you take one or the other. Check here.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be the other one.
Oh, yeah. Command Squad can do it too as well. Anthony, do you want to look up? Because I don't even know how much they went up.
Oh, no, you can't. You just basically just keep them with Thunderhammer
Can you check up the Knights, how much they are more in points? Knights are really good. Like I said, if you look at their stat line, they're really, really good. They're just too expensive. They're way too expensive for what you're going to try to be doing. And I'd rather see a bunch of Terminators on this field than 12. I'd rather see like 22. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, if in actuality you're bringing 2 squads of 10, right?
Yeah.
Then you're bringing probably 2 or 3 squads of the command squads. So in essence, you're having 26 Terminators you got to take off the board.
Yes.
That can be wounded on 4s, unless you're. Oh, you can't even go through that. Like you're literally a blob of unkillable Terminators.
Like I mentioned, like I do bring up Deathwing Knights. They are really strong as well.
What did they used to be there?
What do you mean?
What do they used to cost? Because I'm looking here for the cost.
What is it over there?
43
43 per model?
per model.
So it's 43, basically the old Terminator Assault Squad cost.
Exactly.
Versus 33, which is the new Deathwing Terminators cost.
So basically you're saving 11 points per model, but
10 points.
10 points per model, but you're losing 1 on the weapon skill, but it's not worth it. Deathwing Knights.
Damage bleed over is almost never too expensive. Damage bleed over?
Yeah, with the mace, but
The mace,
only
yeah.
not every single character can take. Every
Only
single
one, you
model
can only
can take
take
it.
1 per unit for a 5, right?
Yeah. With the way Deathwing is being played right now, I'm just sitting on the objective. I don't care if you're killing me or I kill you. I want to play an interactive game where I do my own secondaries, and if you want to try to interrupt me, I don't care because I'm just so damn tanky.
They're 47 here. They went down a little bit, I guess. They're 47 points a model here, and the regular Terminators are 33 points a model, but I don't know what they're 33 still, right?
For what?
Terminators regular?
Currently, Terminators are 33 points.
33 with free upgrades, which is
Yes.
a huge buff.
Getting back to that, the only reason I want to take Deathwing Knights is just for the 2-up save. Sorry, not 2-up save, the 2-up weapon skill. The mace is cool and all, but I think that's more gimmick. That's good for clearing hordes, but if I'm OBSEC already and I can take away OBSEC with space magic, all I need to do is just sit on the objective and be an immovable object.
Yep.
Your opponent can do whatever he wants. I just want my objective in the middle or in no man's land somewhere, and I want you to keep wasting your time on me while I just keep scoring. That's why I find Deathwing Knights to be like not as good as Deathwing Terminators in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what you're taking on your, getting back to the Talon Master, you're taking the Arbiter's Gaze.
Yep.
So you're always hitting on 2s no matter what. That also works in Overwatch. So you're overwatching on 2+. So if somebody wants to charge your, your expensive land speeder over here, 2+. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have a lot of hits and then most likely a lot of wounds. Unless something big's coming at you, it's really nice. And he can leave combat as well.
Yeah, he's just, he's a good assassin character.
Yeah.
He can take out hordes, he can take out not important monsters, but important characters by flying over and trying to avoid the whole lookout sir shenanigans.
And he's giving your stealthy reroll ones to wound, which is always nice. But yeah, I have him as number 1. Like, you changed my mind. I had the Terminators on number 1 because everybody's running Terminators. But everybody's running Talon Masters, and no matter what, he's in a Ravenwing list or he's in a Deathwing list, you're always bringing one of these guys.
Yes, he's more utility, while the Terminators are just a brick, just sitting there.
The only thing I would challenge you on this, and you know that I love Black Knights, because you saw my list.
Yeah.
There's 25 of them right here, I'm spray painting. I wouldn't have them that high, personally. But you did change my mind a little bit on them, that they have them a little higher. I have them around like 8th or 7th in this codex, but they are good.
If I were to switch it, I'd probably move the Apothecaries fine there. Black Knights are 5th, right?
Yeah.
I would probably put the Ancient, now that I'm looking over it and thinking it and digesting it more, maybe move them up 1 or 2 on that list, because being able to make that brick, whether it's Deathwing Knights or whether it's regular Terminators, -1 damage, is good.
Really
he also can take a Warlord trait, so there's your Rights of War.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd be a little bit higher up, but I'm satisfied right now of what is here. I don't have any complaints.
Anthony, I keep using this as the trackpad. I'm like,
like, what's he doing? He likes to feel the book.
So you want to move the Ancient to 7th and the Chaplain down 1?
Because I think in terms of a list that's heavily around Deathwing, the Ancient's going to be a little bit more important than the Chaplain at this point.
Exactly. That was my point with that. I think Chaplain's still good. He's going to be more combat.
He's there to make your Terminators better
exactly.
in terms of melee, but if I'm just doing that secondary for Stubborn Defiance, probably the Ancient's better.
Because Deathwing Terminators right now are like, you want to shoot me, go ahead. I'm not moving from here. And like you said, you put 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and as soon as those boys start going down, you reinforce them. You have your Apothecary there, which we have ranked number 4. He's bringing guys back. He's healing, becoming more of a disaster mosh pit over there, and then you also have a 6-up feel no pain. It's crazy. So I can only imagine, what can this do against I don't even want to even think about it, but what would happen if another beefy Terminator squad met in the middle there? What kind of mosh pit would that be?
You're going to need characters that can jump over the Terminators to go after the buffers. You're going to need someone to kill that captain or kill that Ancient that's giving Rights of War. That's where the Interrogator Chaplain can come in.
Yeah.
Even with the whole Mortal Wound spam with space magic from Thousand Suns or just a lot of Mortal Wounds coming in, you have so many Watchers of the Dark to deny it.
Yep.
Your Chaplain can give a 5+ feel no pain to Mortal Wounds. It's trying to break this problem is like a puzzle right now. I think it's just you got to go around the Terminators. You got to go after the things that are buffing them to turn them back from steroids to just regular Terminators. Yeah,
and I think. What about those mirror matches though that you're going to run into now? Because when you go to a major right now, you're definitely running into another Dark Angels player. What happens when that mosh pit happens in the middle where you're meeting another 20 Terminators? You need your Chaplain there to buff for, because whoever gets first attacks there is going to have the advantage. So you need Chappies. You need to stay offensive. You can't go too defensive and say everything to buff my defense.
Yes.
You need to have a little bit of offense.
That's why I do want to have some Ravenwing Black Knights here and there to go around that brick.
Right.
If Azrael's there buffing, I'm going to shoot down Azrael. Yeah. If there is the Apothecary, I'm going to gun for that Apothecary, charge it in combat, and try to kill it. That's where also the Talon Master comes in. He's going to be the one that is going to be the queen of the army. Like in chess, you got the rooks and everything, you got the pawns blocking. You're going to need that queen piece to go after the strategic points to take down the buffs. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying Ravenwing Talon Master is just up there. Yeah, I agree, 100%. But we've seen other armies like this that have this type of bubble type, which is the Blood Angels.
And like you said, player-placed terrain is huge.
Yes.
Player-placed terrain is so big right now because you can put that piece of terrain right where you want it, where the objective is. Just clip the corner with your Terminators, get the +1 in cover. You have Storm Shields, you're another +1. You're 2+, now you're a 0+. It's insane. I mean, there's no way around this.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
If Deathwing, if it's a mirror matchup, whoever gets first to place terrain is gonna most likely win.
What about spamming smites on them?
Once again, you have Interrogation Chaplains. Sorry, not Chaplains. You have the Librarians.
Watchers
and
in
you
the
have
dark.
all the Watchers. And then your Interrogator Chaplain can give a 5+ feel no pain to that unit that's going to suck up all the mortal wounds.
So good. So good. So yeah, anybody have any comments on or suggestions on what you think about top 10 for Dark Angels? Let us know. But this is what we think, and I've been playing them for a while. Justin plays Space Marines as well. He's been up against the Dark Angels quite a bit.
Yeah.
We do have a tournament coming March 11th. I'm going to be running them, so we'll see how good the Black Knights actually are, because I have a lot of them.
I'm going to try out AdMech, see if all those buffs were enough.
It's only an RTT, so we can fool around a little bit. But check. We'll do some lead-up games maybe to that tournament next week. Anthony, the Friday maybe. Yeah. Do a day of like. We'll do a day of
Warhammer?
No, a day of battle reports.
Tournament practice.
Like tournament practice live streams. I just don't want to play Voton.
I'm playing guard.
Okay, I'll play against your guard. That's fine. I don't want to shoot small men all day.
I'm human, aren't I small compared to Space Marines?
Again, I did it. I'm like my hands like circling the rock.
So it's not a trackpad.
Anything else, Anthony? What do you think?
Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions? I have one honorable mention. Do you agree with this one? He has. So you want to talk about the one you like? Because I like it a lot too. I have a bunch of them in my list. The Storm Speeders. Sorry, the Land Speeders.
For me, it's Land Speeders, Land Speeder Tornado specifically.
Yep.
I've seen a couple of lists just run like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Very cheap, cost efficient. You run it in Iron Hands, I run it in Raven Guard.
Yeah.
You move them up, 16-inch movement, 60 points with a multi-melta and assault cannon built in. They're just annoying overall. You move them up, take care of anything that you need to do, and they're also good for blocking movement. If your opponent wants to get close to Land Speeder and ignores it, or even focuses it down and can't kill it, that Land Speeder is still going to be at full health and just fly around, be annoying, tagging things, and just meltaing like tanks.
No, I love the Land Speeders are amazing, and like you said, Iron Hands do it the best because they get reroll 1s for free.
Well, here's how it gets even better.
Yeah.
They are Ravenwing, so they get Jink.
Yeah, they
so
get
5+
4+
per movement, 4+ if they advance.
Yeah.
Aside from that, they're just a really solid choice. If they die, they die.
If they die, they die. They're more survivable for Ravenwing, but they are more killy for Iron Hands, for sure.
Yes, and then my other mention would be attack bikes. Even cheaper, 50 points for just a multi-melta and like 2
Screening.
bolters.
You can just screen with them.
Not even screening. If you want to like position them in a way that your opponent doesn't want to focus them, they get their not only objectives, but they get an ability for their chapter tactic +1 hit if they don't move.
Oh yeah.
So
you
now you
just
got
sit there.
you got 50-point turrets just sitting there with multi-meltas that are just going to shoot people.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, and my honorable mention, I really like him a lot. I build him up to do a few silly things, but he's just more of a character killer and getting involved is the champion, the Dark Knight, the Black Knight champion. You can give him some cool things. I give him the plus, so he's always wounding on 2+ against characters and vehicles, I believe. And there's a few other things you can give him, but I just like him overall. He's fast. He can keep up with your guys, and he has a 6+ heroic intervention, by the way, as well.
Nice.
6+ 6-inch heroic intervention, so he can move with your Dark Knights, your Black Knights there, the Batmans, and help you kill units that are trying to bully them in combat. Because those are not those are not Thunder Hammers. They're Corvus Hammers, right?
Yes.
So they're not the best, but if you have a character nearby, it makes them a little bit better. Why not?
If one thing that people might not know is with heroic intervention, if they have a 6-inch aura of heroic intervention,
excuse me,
any model, whether it's an infantry, vehicle, or character that gets within that 6 inches of this champion, you get to pile in and you get to fight. So you have a very good aura just to stop people from getting near you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And if your character protected,
He's pretty cheap too.
yeah.
He's like 70 points, I think. Not even. So he's really good. He's one of my favorites. There's so many good units in this book. People, if you're running more Ravenwing, I see a lot of people taking the what do they call the big land speeder?
Land Speeder, Dark Shroud, and
No, the
Vengeance.
the Vengeance, yeah.
With the big plasma.
Yep. Taking a lot of people are taking. They're only 100 points, I believe, right now.
Yes.
And they're worth it. So people trying different things out. You can even take a Storm Speeder. You can take the Melta one, which is 125 points, or you can take the Thunderstorm or whatever it's called.
Thunderstrike.
The Thunderstrike, hitting on 2s. It's really good for Iron Hands as well. We're not talking about Iron Hands, but 2s rerolling 1s built in is insane. You can take 3 of those. But yeah, now we're going into the whole quad. Like, everything's good. You can just try a bunch of different things. I like the more speedy list, the Ravenwing list, but I still think you do need some Terminators in a Ravenwing list to be really effective, like tournament winning type list. Unless you disagree.
I have no comment on that. I think I'm more on the side of I just want to sit there, and you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to hold my objectives.
Yeah, just shoot me.
That's a question. Don't shoot me, bro.
Don't shoot me, bro. Don't tase me. All right, that's the end of it. We got our top 10. That's it. So tomorrow there's supposed to be a snowstorm. Right, Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Meteorologist. Huh?
We're going to have like 20 centimeters of snow in the evening.
I heard 20 to 200.
200?
One news outlet said 200.
That's a mistake.
Are they going by millimeters?
Probably millimeters, honestly.
Centimeters.
Centimeters? I don't believe that. We're not in Buffalo.
In 680 News, they're like, oh, and one other news station said 200, so who knows what's going on.
We're not getting 200
I think
millimeters of
millimeters.
snow. Or sorry, 200 centimeters of snow, Anthony. But
Snow day.
yeah, 200
wish.
centimeters of snow would be a snow day.
I mean, if there's if chat or anybody else has anything that they'd like to bring up regarding Ravenwing or Deathwing, please, by all means. The Dark Angels really buffed out a lot of units in the Space Marines Codex, and I think they're in a really good place. Their 60% win rate really shows it.
Yeah, they're really good. My point with the snowstorm is we're gonna have to cancel probably the live stream tomorrow because we don't want to get stuck in a blizzard. We can run it Saturday maybe before.
But Claudio, we're Canadian.
Yeah,
We're used to this weather.
but I hate snow.
He's not Canadian enough.
I'm an imposter.
I will get on my snowshoes and I will walk here even in a snowstorm.
No way.
The card says use real measurements.
What's that?
The card
Yes.
says you use real measurements.
We must use feet and yards.
Feet in yards. It's gonna snow 1/8 of a yard.
I was going to say 0.0001 of a mile.
Yes.
100.
Igbard knows.
Half a football field.
Those are yards.
Yeah. Half a football field.
50 yards. Okay, this is getting way too.
I like using feet, inches, and yards because Warhammer. I don't need centimeters.
Wait, Warhammer uses yards?
Inches.
Inches.
And I can convert that into yards.
I don't mind using inches. Inches are fine. I think when you start going into miles, it gets weird because it's like 1 point something of a kilometer. It's like, well, whatever.
Kilometers. I don't believe in kilometers.
I don't believe in kilometers. It's all a psyops. They're just screwing with us.
Canada's an inside job.
Yes.
Canada's an inside job.
The queen is like forcing us to use these measurements.
Someone started a country and no one showed up. But anyways, that's it.
Yep.
Right? We're good. Snowstorm tomorrow, so probably no games unless it skips over us. Otherwise,
Anthony,
we'll see you
your
guys
snowshoes.
soon.
We'll play.
Who wants to see Anthony and Justin play in the snow? Warhammer in the snow? Please send us a super chat and we will get it done. How much to get that done?
$200.
$200? No one's gonna super chat $200 to watch you play Warhammer in the snow.
You can't see, you can't hear because of the wind and
I'm
the
gonna
snow.
say $5.
Our wooden tables are going to get put in the snow.
No, you're gonna play on the snow. If your model sinks, it dies.
Table out of the snow.
Okay, this is getting way too dumb now.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. We're Northern Knights Gaming.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.